Y'all ready for some bedhead Warcraft, man? Bedhead, bedbeard, rarg. Oh, I forgot to do my social. Hold on, it is early. I didn't do my social media yet. Morning, Bam. I did not. I'm not personally drinking coffee right now. Um, so I've been weaning myself off of it because I just as I've gotten older, I have been up to. I even forgot my lights here. That's how early it is. I was drinking about 2 liters of coffee up till about 2 weeks ago. Um, and I have what's called a sliding hiatal hernia, which is where your stomach connects to your esophagus. And I've had issues over the years um, with that flaring up, and it's always been related to the consumption of coffee. Every time I start consuming too much coffee, I start having issues with it. And this time it got really bad around the time of our anniversary, which is October, mid-October. Um, and the last month it's just been bothering me, and I finally just it got bad enough where I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop drinking coffee for the moment. And the moment I stopped drinking coffee, it has kind of disappeared. There's a story behind this because it hasn't completely disappeared. Um, so yeah, about 2 liters a day. So I drink, 10, 12 cups of coffee a day is what I've been just nonstop. But I don't sleep. I've never slept. I've drank coffee like that my whole life, and so I just work. Like I sit here at my desk and I just work like 18 hours a day, and so I just drink coffee in lieu of like juice and soda pop and everything else. I just drink coffee. But the hernia has gotten bad enough to where it's just like if you don't know anyone who's ever had this, what it does is it creates this thing in your chest where if that starts getting loose, you get reflux and like heartburn, and you'll feel like this, thing in your chest where it's like, oh, it just kind of hurts all the time. So I quit drinking coffee about a week ago. That went away. I started feeling really good about 4 days ago, so I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and try another cup of coffee. It's been 4 days. I drank a cup of coffee 2 days ago, and I was absolutely miserable all day Saturday and most of yesterday. So I'm just like Chris and I'm just gonna not drink any coffee for like 2 weeks, and then try to ease back into it and see what happens. Um, but I'm a healthy dude. I'm not overweight. I don't exercise as much as I probably should, but that's the only thing I've ever had that's bothered me over the years, and it's just purely related to just coffee consumption. Because anytime I start getting up past like 6 cups a day, it'll flare up, and usually it's manageable, so I just kind of ignore it. But I think this is the fifth flare up I've had since I turned like 33, 34. I think my first one was about 10 years ago, the first time it happened, and I got panicked, man. I went to the hospital, had all sorts of tests ran. I was like, I've got cancer or something, you never know. So it's like, so yes, I do love coffee, like obsessively love coffee. It has been really hard to not drink coffee these past few days. It's been about a week now, I guess. Um, First 2 days were really bad. Like there was a couple of streams that I was doing where I couldn't talk. I was like trying to read lines of dialogue and it was all blurry, and I was like, because just the coffee haze is real. Um, but I haven't had any like um, nagging addictive withdrawal stuff for about 4 days now. But I was feeling really good. So Saturday morning, Chris and I were having pancakes. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a. All I had was a shot of espresso. That's all I had. I had a single shot of espresso, and about 90 seconds after I drank the espresso, it felt like somebody had punched me in the middle of my chest, and it was like, oh no, and it just was flared up all day. So I'm technically not drinking coffee right now. Bam says I understand my dad has that condition. You should have water. Well, I do drink a lot of water too, but just no other beverages. I don't drink a lot of anything other than just like coffee and water throughout the day. Whereas Chris doesn't like to drink water, so she drinks lots of tea, um, and juices and stuff. But yeah. All right, let me do my social media before I get sidetracked, because I totally forgot to do this on Discord and Facebook and everything. Excuse me, I got the morning sniffles too. I wish I could drink coffee right now. And I guess there's a ton of data out there that suggests that if you wait to drink your coffee, you don't crash in the afternoon. I've never worried about it because I like taking naps. So I've been taking naps for years. So I don't mind the afternoon crash. So it's going to be interesting when I get... No, you're good. You're good. It's going to be interesting when I get back into it here. And like I said, I'm going to take about 2 weeks off completely and then see how it goes. When I do, assuming I can go back to it after my body has a little bit of a break, I'm going to try to not drink it first thing in the morning. I'm going to try to wait until, 9 or 10 after I've been up for a few hours and see how my body reacts to that sort of a change in schedule. And then maybe just try to do like an espresso in the morning and then maybe an espresso in the afternoon and just keep it down. We will see though. All right, there's Twitter. Sorry, X. Facebook, and now let's do Discord. Why didn't it post? Facebook's being rubbish. I wish there was more options than just Facebook and Twitter, but they still do bring in traffic, so. All right, we're multi-streaming, everybody, YouTube and Twitch. It's gonna be a slow morning this morning. We're just gonna do some questing today. Let me answer one snarky comment here or one of my YouTube videos, and then we'll actually get going. All right. These Centaur quests have been really freaking amazing. I've been really enjoying these quest chains. Alright, we have lots of stuff to do here. Like, lots of stuff to do. I can ignore that one. The Fields of Ferocity. These are the orientations. We could do that first. We'll save the clan ones for last because those are like the campaign quests. So right now I just want to do like the side quests. Also, good morning everybody tuning in.
Go play with your birds, Shikar.
I am not here
Morning,
by
Cass.
choice. We should just get this over with.
By the way, that's that voice actress. I just realized that that's Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3. It was driving me nuts yesterday. I was like, where have I heard her voice? Where have I heard her voice? And it's frickin' Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3. It's so awesome. Devora, I can't remember her name. She's amazing on social media. I love her TikTok. No, this is a campaign quest. Here's where I'm going. This is what I want to do. Bam says, I fell into the Legion quest line, really enjoyed it on the way to 60. I can't wait to run alts through those because I've only played... I did play Wrath Classic, Wrath of the Lich King Classic. So I did Burning Crusade, not Burning Legion. I did Burning Crusade and Wrath over like a 6-month period of time. But supposedly they've streamlined those quest lines for the time walking. So my plan is, as soon as I get through Dragonflight and I'm done with like all that, I'm gonna start leveling up alts ahead of the War Within, and I'm gonna pick a time walk campaign for each alt, and I'm just gonna go through and experience all those because they've condensed those storylines into like 25-hour things, like so campaigns. So I'm really looking forward to testing that out. Why does it reset this every single time I start my camera up? Alright, we're good.
Be respectful.
Tradition is very clear on the matter. Fetch some sweets for the matchmaker. A nice tart.
Goodbye.
Greetings.
Please tell me you have that really cool looking bow. I don't see it, but I do see. Look at that little pet. Look at the little pet. I do see a bunch of Drake cosmetics, which is awesome. So I'm gonna have to. This is definitely. Definitely need to get all the faction here. It's a good thing I'm working on this. They've got every weapon except for a bow. How sad is that? Why?
Where will the wind take you?
Are you good? Farewell, then.
Welcome to the YouTube channel, Gary O'Connor.
Trust your clan.
Don't forget we're multi-streaming here on YouTube and Twitch, so you can pick your poison where you want to watch. You can support on YouTube with Super Chats and memberships, and if you go over to Twitch, you can support with bits, cheers, and subs. Keeps me on the air full time, so if you like what you see, don't forget, daily streams 5:30 to 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central onwards every day and every night. 7 days a week unless I'm sick or something comes up. I did not stream last night because it was my brother's birthday over the weekend. He turned 30. He wanted to play Sea of Thieves on Sunday night, which we usually do with his wife. And we didn't start until like after 8 o'clock, and we couldn't get... Sea of Thieves doesn't have, like, you can't save, so you have to just keep going until you get the next checkpoint. And it took us forever. It took us like an hour and 45 minutes last night. So I didn't get done until almost 10 o'clock. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired. It's late. I'm going to bed. I think that was the first night I've missed streaming in like a month. It does happen occasionally. Honey plum tart. Yeah. Ooh, found another quest too. Talisman.
Allow the spirits to sing through you.
Bring the owner wind chimes
Good
to
luck.
Watch. Do that. Oh, found another quest. Yay!
Need supplies? You have my gratitude.
Oh, you must be the one who sells
Maybe
the
I
tart.
can help.
Honey plum tart.
My goods will serve you well.
I thought you might come.
Wind Sage. Naaman of Clan Shikar is my son. He is my warmth. He is my light. He is my hope. A man like him deserves a proposal worthy of stature.
Stay sharp.
Oh, I see another quest up here too. God, this place is a plethora of quests. Freaking love it.
A cold front precedes the storm. The chill seeps into my bones.
Speak to Initiate Radia at
We cannot
Oniri.
stop the wind, Seshtang, nor reverse its course. We must be guided by it, even into tumult.
This is one of the other clan quests, so we'll skip that one over there.
I thought you might come.
Ask about Dora's proposal. How wonderful.
Go
He wants a pudding. I like how I'm delivering sweets. I'm like the baker man.
I have something for you.
Pudding, pudding, pudding. Yak milk pudding. Ugh.
Return when you have more to trade.
I don't know about yak milk, man. Alright, I think we actually need to go make a delivery that's a little farther away now. Oh, there's a flight path over here too.
Our destiny is at hand.
Emberwatch.
Night guide you.
What's this? How fascinating. We will need some time to study it.
These times are troubling. Watch your back. Norbathos Surma.
Alright, well, I'm gonna hold off on that quest. That is the Mysterian Ruins. On track. Get back to vision of
Perhaps
Zara.
I can be helpful.
I have brought you sweets on behalf of Wind Sage Dawa. There is a large gruff muskin by the Knocket Enclave. Seek it out and bring the horns to the Wind Sage. They will make mighty ornaments for Narman and the rest of us can
Come
feast
back
from the
with
remains.
more coin.
Clan Knocket, Clan Ower. We got other stuff we can turn in though.
Yes.
Oh, what just happened here? I just unlocked furnishings? Hold up. You've joined forces with the Mark Centaurs. You may find the centaur hunting trophies from unique beasts and treasure to increase your standing. Oh, this is like a faction related thing. Huh.
May your arrow always fly true.
Clan. Alright, those are all the clan quests, which I don't want to do right now. Matter of fact, if I want to just ignore those for the moment, let's untrack those. Alright, what am I supposed to do here? Get silver horns from this creature. Here. Bam!
The weather is turning.
Brought some sweets for you, matchmaker. Alright, fletch some Cirrus blood flowers, place for the burial mound.
See you soon.
Oh, I am sniffly this morning. Probably need to take an allergy pill. You try living with 8 cats and chickens and dust on a farmstead and not have allergies. I've never had allergies my whole life, and then when we got here, I just started getting all sniffly and stuff. Alright, here comes the matchmaker. Who dares to awaken Saran Khan? We beseech your betrothal. Beseech your blessings, sorry, and betrothal. I don't care about your accomplishments. Do you have true love? We do. Love. True love.
Time is money, friend.
Hey, you're no centaur. No, I'm not.
Be good.
Welcome one and all to the fields of ferocity. Defeat Manit.
Keep it real.
So this is gonna be like one of those arena quests that you have to do with a full group. I should hold off on that until I get a guild group together. We're gonna untrack that. Alright, I think we have a bunch of return quests here. I gotta sort out which ones are which, because some of them are clan quests, which I don't want to do quite yet. Clan, Shakar Giver. We definitely want to go to that one. And then the Bloodlines, so...
What roads have you traveled?
Here's the horn.
Blessings to you for the road ahead.
Okay. Next one is sweets.
Are you good? Heed your blind spots.
Alright, let's go knock out this, this quest over here so I can get it out of my journal. I need one more scale. Because I just want it off my journal. Avalon says, I feel I may have failed holding my wife back from World of Warcraft after showing her your video on the upcoming features. So that's exactly what got me into it. Like, I never, ever, never. I've been playing MMOs for 25 years. I never once considered maining World of Warcraft as my main. Because I've always been busy with other stuff. I love Star Wars: The Republic. I love Lord of the Rings Online. But the features that are coming with War Within are just, not even just the War Within, like the Fellowship dungeons that are coming with the next patch. I don't know if you saw the update for that. But like, you're going to be able to run dungeons, Dragonflight dungeons are going to be, you can run those, hang on, I'm getting sidetracked here. They're going to give you NPC companions to run those with. So you can go in by yourself or with just like 2 people and run a dungeon without needing to wait around for a guild group or try to find, you know, you don't have to use the matchmaking system if you don't want to. You can just run it by yourself. You can run it with a couple of people and you can go do the dungeons. Like, that is freaking amazing. Like, Star Wars: The Republic has that with the robots that you get, and so it's a choice. It's like, I don't feel like running a dungeon today with other people. I just want to do it myself. So you do the story mode, and it's lesser rewards, but you get to do the story of the dungeon. There's the scales I needed, and you don't have to worry about it. And then other nights you're like, you know what? I've got 3 hours to play. I want to run with other people, and so you use the matchmaking system. Or, hey, it's Friday night. It's guild night. Let's go run the dungeons with our guild members. Boom. Options. I do not understand the people who have come out of the woodwork and are like, this is just further ruining World of Warcraft because you should be forced to group with other people and you should be forced to do this, that, and the other, and they're ruining the game. And I'm like, no, you're just a fucking curmudgeon who is stuck in the past and like, must be full-time group only like EverQuest. Rah! My Fist says Final Fantasy has it too. I don't play enough Final Fantasy, but that's good to know. Hell, even Guild Wars had it back in the day. This is a quest we can turn in over here. Trouble in the Pines. Pinewood Post, that's way over there. So that must be... Is that a flight path? Oh, that's a breadcrumb quest if I had to guess. Alright, that's a long way away for this one, but let's do it. This one right here. Disgruntled Initiate. Oh, because both those quests, those are both breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs. Hold up. Trouble in the Pines. Let's untrack this one. Let's untrack this one. Alright, let's go make our delivery. And then we can come back and do the clan quests.
Well then.
Oh, RuneScape is the only MMO I like, says El Nini. Avalon says your relaxed nature helped win her over in Mirror, so now she wants to join forces despite being based in Norway's faraway EU connection. She was hoping... Well, sorry again, let me finish that read through. She was hoping older dungeons would get the follower solution too. I would say that given the fact that they've already put the engineering time into Dragonflight, they may do it to the older ones, but that'll be a long-term solution because if you listen to the War Within presentation, they're going to make Dragonflight the default leveling experience once the War Within goes live, which means that right now, if I'm not mistaken, Battle for Azeroth is the default leveling experience. So if you go through, this is how that works. If you're a new player and you play through the tutorial island, when you get done with that, it pushes you to the Battle for Azeroth expansion. And that's the one it has you level through from 10 to 60. When Dragonflight launched, that's been the default. Once War Within drops, Dragonflight is going to become the default leveling expansion. So they're planning 5 moves ahead. So when War Within drops, Dragonflight becomes the new leveling expansion for like 10 to 70 or whatever. And so they're preparing that eventuality with the follower dungeons. That's part of the delve system that's coming. If I had to guess, given what they've done in the past with things like that, they will then go back as time permits and work on past dungeons eventually. I wouldn't expect that anytime soon though, because the default leveling experience is going to be Dragonflight, so they're gonna focus on that one first. Yeah, Bam. They're like one of the only companies I know that plans that far ahead. I would argue that Star Wars: The Republic still does a very good job, but I know a lot of people are in panic mode because it got sold off. It didn't get sold off per se, but it got given over to Broadsword. And Broadsword kind of runs old MMOs. And they don't do a lot with the other MMOs, but the other MMOs don't have a 40-man development team. Star Wars: The Republic moved over with a 40-man development team. And they've already planned out and mapped the next 2 years of expansions. Not expansions per se, but all the updates and patch content for storylines. Those are already mapped out and in the public. And it's like, you know, when companies do that, Lord of the Rings Online does a very good job of that as well. They just keep going because they have a pretty dedicated audience. But Warcraft does an exceptional job, especially with modernizing the current game. keeping it running well on all
Always
machines.
glad to help. Please be careful, friend.
All right. By the way, I am just gonna take an allergy pill, everybody, because I can't stop the sniffles, and I know that's got to be annoying to people listening, because I'm just like sniffle, 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 sniffle. Let me go get a drink. I think these are called Claritin in the U.S., but it's just Loratadine. I'll be back in a moment. All right. I got sidetracked, guys. Chris was finally getting up, so I was talking to her for a minute. Bam says ESO started planning a year out as well, which increased interest. Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 16 feel like MMOs, says El Nini. Varangian says, good morning, folks. Yeah, I think any game that is going to put enough time into the development to stay at least 12 months ahead of the curve. More than that is even better, but if they can at least promote to the public, hey, we've already got the next 12 months in development. Here's the timeline. More importantly, ESO, like World of Warcraft, like Lord of the Rings Online, like Star Wars Republic, these games hit their milestones. So when they tell people that this is coming on X date, that's 3 months down the road or 6 months down the road, they hit it. They don't skip, and that builds trust with the audience. That's something, and this is going to go back to the conversations we're having in the long-form YouTube videos, which is the reason no one trusts these little independent MMORPG companies that are trying to crowdfund their bullshit projects is that they can't hit milestones, and they move the goalpost all the time, and that doesn't breed trust, and no one cares. If you can reliably hit milestones and show that the consumer is going to get their money's worth, that goes a long way to breeding trust. All right, allergy pill is down. There's another quest over here, which I might as well grab while I'm here.
Hello.
Bountiful table host.
See you around.
Please sit, feast, and try everything. Once you eat enough of every dish, you'll be infused with the spirit of sharing. What is
Safe
that?
travels.
Alright. Sweet potato pie. I love sweet potato pie. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things here. Pass the sweet potatoes. Feast on the sweet potatoes. It says eat 5 helpings. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't see that I'm well fed yet. Do I eat another one? Or maybe it just said eat 5 helpings becomes great. Hang on, so I can get up from that, perhaps? So I just need to eat 1 of each? Oh, this must be for Thanksgiving. I get it. This is why it wasn't here the other day. This must be related to, like, Thanksgiving. That's a different conversation, Munster. We're not talking about game balance. We're talking about games having a predictable and, more importantly, reliable production schedule. That's a people complaining about game balance. That's a whole nother. Nobody's gonna like my conversation on that topic. Well, I ate everything here. How come I didn't get the buff?
Something?
If you eat enough of every food.
See you later.
So I need to do probably 5 of each. So hang on, let's do that again. 1, 2. So I'm a game developer first and foremost. And I am always going to err on the side of the game developer for making changes to the game as the games go over time. And I'm absolutely in the camp of game developers know better than the players, because 9 times out of 10, people, it's great to have opinions. It's awesome to have opinions, and sometimes those opinions are valid. But sometimes they're just opinions. And what I've seen in game development over the years is that I think the number one thing I always love to hear is when people complain about, they nerfed my class. No, they didn't. They made a necessary change for the longevity of the game. There's when you have hundreds of thousands of people playing a game, and in some cases millions of people playing a game, there's decisions that happen behind the scenes because of data, and the average gamer doesn't have access to that data. And so when I hear the nerf conversation, I always chuckle, because that's human beings naturally resist change. We don't like it. It doesn't matter what it is. If someone changes my coffee recipe, I'm upset. I don't like that, because I'm accustomed to the way that my coffee tastes. And that may be enough to make me switch coffee brands. That's a legitimate thing. However, I don't know why they changed their coffee. It could be because the coffee bean that they used to use is no longer available because of a bug infestation that wiped out. This is a legitimate thing that's going on in Italy right now, where there's a I can't remember what the terminology they use for it, but it's essentially a bug plague that only happens once every 3 or 4 generations or something, and it's coming through and it's wiping out these 1,000-year-old olive oil trees. And so it's decimating the olive oil production industry in Italy. Now, what is that going to do to worldwide olive oil consumption? Well, that means that businesses that have traditionally been selling olive oil for years and years and years and years and years are either going to go out of business, or they're going to have to change their recipe and use lesser quality olives, or they're going to have to use olives from another source to continue to producing olive oil. What that's going to do is it's going to change the recipe. It's going to change the flavor. The average consumer who loves that olive oil, who's drank that olive oil, used that olive oil for decades, is going to get the new generation of olive oil. There's the buff. I had to do, that's what I was looking for. They're going to get upset because
Good day
they
to you.
changed my olive oil. They don't consider the reason why that olive oil recipe changed. All they know is my olive oil changed. I don't like the flavor anymore. And they get mad and they make a ranty post on the internet.
Have a good one.
That's not to say that that's what happens in every case, but I'm using that as an example to
See
say,
you later.
in my experience as a game developer, the vast majority of time balance changes have been made to games is because there are a million things going on behind the scenes that the average gamer doesn't have a clue about because they just don't work in game dev. There's a barrier between game development and game consumption. Sorry to rant, but the whole, when I see someone talk about balance or nerfs, it always triggers me a little bit because it's like, come on now, there's a reason the changes are being made, and that's not to say that those changes are the right things, but it's always better to have a conversation about it rather than a knee-jerk reaction of, I don't trust this company because they changed my ranger class. I'm not saying that was you, Munster. I'm saying that that's what I typically see when I go to a forum and I see people like rant about change or balance or nerfs. So you sparked a conversation, which I probably need to mark down on a timestamp. That's probably a great clip to pull out for a YouTube video. How far in are we? 50 minutes in? And this is why I need a full-time assistant, everybody, so that they can be the one marking these and cutting these out for me. That's part of the 2024 objectives, is hiring somebody, so we'll see. If growth continues, we'll be good. Might not happen till the middle of the year, but I really would like to hire somebody.
Honor all dragons.
Alright, I think we can go work on the campaigns now. Track.
What do you seek?
Live service games need to hit milestones. They do. And I guarantee you, if you wait long term, crowdfunding will eventually get hit with federal regulations, and they will also be required to have milestones. Because that's the biggest bane to any crowdfunded project right now, is they don't have to have milestones. They can move those goalposts every 6 months, refactor their games 50 times. The terms of service allow those to be pledges, not pre-orders, so you never get your money back because you're just donating to someone's crusade. It's a sketchy thing, man. Mephiss says, I'll do it, I don't work. Well, it's not just about being unemployed. You gotta have the chops, man. Get on it. I would argue too that when I started all this was 2007. Was when so up until 2007 I worked construction. I never finished high school. I never went to college. I was a third generation ceramic tile and natural stone contractor who grew up on a dairy farm in the middle of Missouri and lived in Colorado for 12 years. I never had any education. And I came out of that economic crisis, sold my tools, sold my truck, shut down my company at the end of 2007, and started traveling abroad. Went to live in Bulgaria, because that's where my ex-partner was from. And that opened my eyes to everything and the power of the internet. And I started writing for a living. But along that journey, I've had to learn. It's I've lost track of all of the skills I have had to learn to evolve in the modern times. So I had to learn website development immediately. I had to learn social media management immediately. I had to learn how to use editing programs and voice to text dictation software. And I had to learn Photoshop, and I've had to learn Canva, and I've had to learn PHP and HTML, and I've had to learn um, I can't even. It's like I said. There's just a myriad of things I've had to learn along the way just to manage a business online and be a freelancer. And then getting into game development, you have to learn various game engines, and then learning VFX and sound design and how to make all that work, and more coding and more programming and C plus and C sharp and learning Unity, and then learning Unreal, and then learning this, that, and the other. And it's like if you want to be something more than just like a wage slave, you really do have to you have to be a jack of all trades. Like if you want to, I've been freelancing since I was 20. I'm 40. I'll be 44 in January. So I've been an independent contractor since I was 20 years old. Um, and I mean, I can remember marketing back in the day when I had my construction company was open up a phone book and call carpet shops and places that and hey, I'm looking for work. Do you have any work? And most of the time they had their own crews. But occasionally they would have filler work, and you would go do filler work for them, and you would earn a reputation, and they'd give you more work. And I would print up a stack of 1,000 business cards, and I would take my truck out in Colorado, and I'd drive down the Front Range of Colorado on a Sunday afternoon. I'd leave at Sunday morning, and I would just drive, and I would look for construction sites. And I would drive up, and there's usually nobody on a construction website on a Sunday. Occasionally there are. If there are people working, you hand out your business cards. If not, you take a hammer tacker and you tack your business card to like door frames, just like all over the place. And then if you got a Tuesday afternoon that's free, you go to the same you go to the same job sites, and you go to the job trailer, and you go talk to the general contractor, and you hand out your business card, and you network and you market. In the modern era, one of the things that Chris and I did when we were getting our business going, when we were getting our travel brand going back in the day, when we were becoming influencers in the travel space, when we were living in Cancun, I printed up a stack of 5,000 business cards, and we had a live-in assistant who lived with us, Devlin, and the three of us tag teamed, and I had him sending emails, but between the three of us, we sent out 6,000 emails in 1 month manually. No bot emails. It was us going to like TripAdvisor and hunting down emails for hotels and restaurants and tour agencies and just blasting email, cold calling. And then Chris and I took those business cards, and we had bicycles, and we just rode around Cancun on our bikes, and we went to every hotel, every restaurant, every tour agency, anything that had anything to do with tourism, and we handed out our business cards and said, hey, we do photography, videography, marketing, social media, blah, 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 consultations, blah, 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 blah. 6,000 leads in a month, and we booked 2 years of work from 1 month of just hitting the streets and putting our noses to the grindstone. 2 years of work, and within 2 years, I was making a full-time living off of consultations, public speaking, and getting paid to travel around the world and work for travel brands. And go work with like the Costa Brava Tourism Board in Spain for 3 months and the Ireland Tourism Board for 60 days, and all these amazing projects that we worked on over the years. And all of that because we went out and just did it. You put your nose to the grindstone and you do it. Sorry guys, you got me in a ranty morning this morning, just ranting about various subjects. So that comes back around to like, whenever I do hire someone, they have to be a multi-talented individual, because it's gonna be all sorts of, you gotta be there for the live streams, you gotta moderate the live streams, you gotta cut the clips, you gotta cut the shorts, you gotta edit the shorts, edit the clips, get them uploaded. It's gonna be a full-time job, but I will also be paying full-time wages. So it's gonna be one of those things where I'll get a lot of applications, I guarantee you, from people who are like, I know how to use Facebook, and it's like, that's not enough. You got to do what I do, but at a lesser scale. Star Citizen comes to mind, says Varangian. I would also argue that Star Citizen is the perfect example of a game that has moved milestones 500 times. But, the caveat to Robert Space Industries is they're actually making money at it and employing hundreds of employees. I think it's close to 1,000 employees across like 3 studios, I think. It is like the unicorn example of a studio that I would say it's kind of okay for them to have done what they've done, even though, yes, I don't trust Chris Roberts when he says anything about when they did the feature complete Start Squadron 42 trailer a couple months back. I did a reaction video to it, and I like literally was skipping past his speaking dialogue. And a lot of people who came and commented, they were like, "You're missing the best parts," and I was like, "No, I'm not. I am skipping Chris Roberts, talking bullshit. I don't care. Where's the release date? Oh, there's not a release date? Then I don't give a shit. Yes, it's a feature complete. You claim it's feature complete, but I also know it's Chris Roberts. That doesn't mean that it's feature complete. It means that he's promoting a marketing thing. It's feature complete. We hope to have it to you in the next." He didn't say a timeline, but I've heard people say within the next 2 years, which would be ideal. And it looks amazing. I will play the shit out of Squadron 42 when it drops. It's one of the games I'm most hyped about, but I also am not. I don't like follow it. You know, it's like I'm hyped to play it when it comes out. That'll probably be the one game that makes me go buy a brand new PC rig and a HOTAS flight stick setup and everything, because I will play the shit out of that game when it comes out, and I'll be ready for Star Citizen. But I don't care until there's a release date. Like, I backed the Kickstarter for $40 years ago, and they blew past those deadlines. But I will give them credit because they employ close to 1,000 employees across multiple studios. No other crowd-funded company can claim to do the same thing. Most of them are QQing in their newsletters like Pantheon. Oh, the crowdfunding's dried up. We don't have any money anymore. That's because you don't have anything. Like, you're not building anything that anybody wants to play. You're stuck in the past trying to build a game that still has corpse runs and XP loss. Fuck off. Like, Star Citizen is building a modern game, you know, and granted, it's built on a bunch of, yes, El Nini, Star Citizen is an MMO. Squadron 42 is the single-player game set in that MMO space, but there's 2 different products that are being developed there. And like Pantheon coming out and being like, we only have one full-time developer / designer working on the project after, you know, $6 million raised in 10 years. Whatever. You know, Chronicles of Illyria, they blew through several $1 million in crowdfunding. Nothing. Shroud of the Avatar, $12 million in crowdfunding. Nothing. You know, just failure after failure after failure, and they can't even keep, you know, a dozen people employed, much less 20 or 30. And whereas Robert Space Industries has been able to successfully employ hundreds of people across multiple studios for a decade now. So that is one area where I will at least give them credit for that, even if they are absolutely the king, the epitome of moving goalposts. They have at the very least been able to employ people with gainful employment for a decade, and that's something no other crowdfunded MMO project has been able to do. Dribrum says, if you donate money, you can't expect something back. If you do, you're not doing anything. Then it's called purchasing. Yeah, but that's the thing. The vast majority of consumers don't have the intelligence level to understand that because most of the people who are crowdfunding little indie projects are the people who are they're bought into the cult. They're like, I believe in the promise. I believe in the vision. The vision is the one that gets quoted the most, and so they don't understand that that's a pledge. They don't understand the difference between a pledge and a pre-order. It's like, read the terms of service. It's a donation. It's like if I gave a homeless guy on the street $20, I'm never getting that $20 back ever. He might wash my window for me, but that's it. You know, I'm never getting that $20 back. And then you hear people like, I want a refund. It's been 10 years. Good luck with that. Terms of service say that you can't. Whereas companies who sell a pre-order are backed. I mean, that purchase is backed by consumer protection laws. So you can get a refund for that. And if you don't, you can take it to the state attorney general and get your money back and start a lawsuit. Another thing that a lot of people don't know you can do. Thus concludes my morning rants on crowdfunding. And I probably offended some hardcore indie MMO players. Sorry. Alright, I could swear this is Lae'zel's voice actors here from
Go
Baldur's
play
Gate
with
3.
your birds, Shakar.
I am not here by choice. We should just get this over with.
That's Lae'zel. It's gotta be Lae'zel. I'm gonna go look this up. Scout Tummel voice actress. Is it not? It's not. I called that wrong. Shame me, everybody. Shame me. I deserve to be shamed for that. It sounded like Lae'zel. It sounded like the voice actress who did Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3. This is an actress known as Shara Kirby. God, I could have sworn that was Lae'zel. Well,
Out with it.
you can't win them all. Alright. Here's Bahir, one of the Balakar Khan's
You'll be
thugs.
back soon. Time for me to depart. Enjoy your time with these thugs, Two-Foot.
It sounds similar, like...
Greetings, small one.
Alright, you want to know the Nakud? We speak through battle. Our ritual is called the Tabar. We train, we spar, and it hardens us. Enough talk, go spar.
Go. Prove you're not as weak as you look.
Alright, we need to spar with
You dare bring that outsider here? You
centaurs.
insult
Can
the
I hail
Nara
any of them?
Balakar. Step away from this path.
No court to serve the power of the storm. We will show the Maruk how far they have fallen.
No out.
My Khan, this interloper has no place amongst your no-code. We must cleanse ourselves of any weakness.
Let the storm envelop you, Wind Sage. Show me your hands.
Oh, it automatically... Okay, so I can AoE these. That's good. Oops, I don't know how to auto-attack this guy. That auto-forwarding feature works really great sometimes, and then other times it's like, no, wait,
Balakar
stop, I didn't
Khan
mean
will
to
lead the no-Kud to victory.
Oh, I need to go back up here to do the turn-in, don't I?
Be welcome. Honor the mother. Farewell, then.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna get a recipe. Help Carlin Detur cook a meal for the ancestors.
Goodbye. Two young Shikar delivered some game from your travels. Bring it here.
Okay. Where might it be?
Now we must season the meat. Grab some spice from our stores.
You're making me hungry. Am I gonna do a Salt Bay animation?
Our
Aw,
foes
I'm
eat more
disappointed they didn't do
spice
the
than
Salt Bay
this.
animation. That would have been
Get
cool.
more.
They probably can't. That he's probably got that trademarked.
It tastes better, but I can still feel my tongue. Bring over the biggest container of spice. Well done. Now that's enough spice to bring Maruk and Tira to the fire. You have the honor of charring the roast. Do not remove it from the fire until it is past blackened.
Alright. Oh, here's... Okay, I just need to cook this. Cloud gaming? Like people being able to play games
Good.
remotely?
The scent is strong. It will be easily carried to our ancestors on the wind. Place it on the offering table.
It's been an interesting thought experiment, but nobody's been able to pull it off yet. Like, so PlayStation had it with, it's gone now. I think it used to be called PlayStation Plus. It was great. I had a subscription to it for like a year, and I was able to play a back catalog of PlayStation games that I had never played before. But you need to have a high-speed internet connection, so it's not going to be available to people in developing countries who live outside of major cities. So it's never going to be available to anybody except for those people who are in major cities or first world countries. So it's not, it's a great thought experiment. Google's Stadia, that failed. They shut it down. So it's an interesting thought experiment, but no one's been able to make it work yet. Like, because there's too many factors. I guess the general idea is that it's a great solution for people who can't afford gaming PCs. But in order for that subscription, because all of them charge a subscription service, right? It's you pay a monthly fee, and in exchange for that monthly fee, you get all right, Drip Brum, it's changed its name now. It used to be called PlayStation Plus, I think. Now it's called PlayStation Premium. Exactly. So you can stream your games. That's the exact same service. But all of these services have a subscription attached. So the idea is that if you can't afford a gaming PC, here's an inexpensive way for you to still be able to play games on your 20-year-old computer and still be able to play modern games. But it's predicated on the idea that you have to live in a place where you have a high-speed internet connection that can take advantage of the streaming requirements to stream that to your PC. And that's just not the reality for a lot of people, because even in the United States, I think the average internet connection is still less than 30 megs. I think if I don't forget my data. The United States is actually one of the worst countries in terms of internet accessibility for its general public. Ireland is one of the best. Like, if you go to Ireland, the government spent billions of dollars creating an infrastructure so that even the most remote person in Ireland has broadband high-speed internet. Like, no other country has taken the time to invest in the infrastructure to that level. Where our homestead is, Dribrum says I have 100 megabytes and it's too slow for that. I had a 200 down, 200 up fiber in Mexico City, and it worked great for that service. Where I live now, I have a 200 down, it's actually like a 300 down. It's like a 260 down and a 16 up. So borderline, it's enough. It's enough to do the streaming games, yes. But I'm the exception because the country where our homestead is, which is Mexico, where I spend the majority of my time, Um, the country has done a very good job of providing broadband internet to even the remote corners of the country, and the U.S. does not do that because everything in the U.S. is privatized. So the companies have no reason to want to put their internet in remote places of the country because they're not going to make any money. Whereas other countries like Ireland and Mexico, the government has spent money to put the infrastructure in place for everyone. So like here we have the federal telephone company that, I mean, I live in a remote place, like less than 30,000 people. It's a tiny little cow town on the edge of a river in the middle of nowhere. And I have two connections. I have a cable connection, which is my primary, and then I have a fiber optic connection, which is my backup. And people ask, why is the fiber optic your backup? And it's because it's not a true fiber optic. The federal telephone company came through and ran fiber optic through town about 4 years ago, and it's just goes through the heart of town. I'm 2 blocks away, so I cannot get the actual fiber optic from the telephone company because they're 2 blocks away and they won't run. I even offered to pay. I was like, I'll pay. What does it cost? $3,000, $4,000. I was like, I'll pay to get the line. I'll pay for you to install a box on the telephone pole outside of my house, and you can sell fiber to everybody in my area. I'll pay for the installation, and they still turned me down. They were like, no, there has to be enough demand, blah 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 blah. Because they have 1 gig up, 1 gig down fiber. So what happens is one of the engineers who used to work for the telephone company started his own fiber optic company here in town. And what he's been offering for the past few years is he sells wireless to people in the remote parts of town. So they all have little Wi-Fi towers on top of their houses, and he sells them wireless. Well, about 6 months ago, he got a permit to start installing fiber optic lines through town. So his little team of like 4 guys has been going through town installing fiber optic lines, and they put a fiber optic box on my telephone pole about 4 months ago, and I immediately went, who are you? How much does it cost? What do you have? And so they have a 15 up, 15 down symmetrical, because he's literally, what he has at his home is he has the 1 gig up, 1 gig down, and then he's sharing that, he's subletting that to all of these people throughout town. Now it works pretty good most days. So my main connection is cable, and it works most days. But like yesterday, as an example, my cable connection was not doing great, so I switched over to my backup, and I played Sea of Thieves with my brother and my sister-in-law on my backup. And I've streamed a few times on that backup fiber optic connection, and it'll get better as we get through here. But yeah, the country has done a good job of doing that. Vringen says U.S. tried to do that, but it's called the Rural Broadband Initiative, but it was killed by Congress. I know, dude. It's like there's an active, we want to keep people in the dark. We want to keep people back in the 1980s. They don't deserve broadband internet, which is so stupid when you have all these other countries that are actively trying to get internet to all of their people. One of the big things with Mexico is the government has an incentive to do it because, especially during the pandemic stuff, all the schools shut down here like they did in many countries, and so everyone was learning. They were doing remote classes. Well, half the country didn't have that great of internet, and so they were really struggling to do online learning, and so the government really just came in and said, we're going to fix that problem, and they just deployed broadband internet across the whole country so that people could have their schools, and the schools could do remote learning. It's very interesting to see that unfold in real time. But I'd say Ireland still takes the cake. When Chris and I went to Ireland, we were working out there. I'll never forget, like, one of the first things I saw was we went in and we got a unlimited, and this is like a standard for the phone carriers there, unlimited everything for €30 a month for your phone. No data caps, no throttling, no tiered structure. It's just, that's the standard of service. $30-ish a month. Unlimited everything, 5G. And it was like 4G and 5G, and I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. It didn't matter where we went. We were in the most remote parts of the country on a road, road tripping with a drone and everything, and I always had service, and it was always lightning fast. It was like ridiculous on my phone even. So it was amazing to see that happen. Well, Singapore is a very small country entity, so they can afford to do it because it's a very localized environment. It is much more difficult to do it on a place like the U.S. because it's so big. It does cost a lot of money, but that's the reason why it won't ever happen from the private sector. Because my brother actually asked, so he lives kind of remote, and he's got Starlink because of this. And Starlink works pretty good for them. It's not perfect, but it works good enough that his wife works on. My sister-in-law works from home, and she does marketing for a company, and she does all their video editing and uploads and video calls all throughout the day. And Starlink works exceptionally well for in some places it works okay, in other places. West Coast it works exceptionally well. They're in the central U.S. in Missouri. And Starlink works good enough to make a living off of, and for my brother to stream and play games. So it works good enough. But they still have nights when all of a sudden it'll go from being like a 20 megabyte upload, and he'll start getting like 2 megabyte upload. And we'll be on a Discord call, and he'll start fading in and out, So it still has its hiccups, depending on saturation and other things. He asked one of the local companies what it would cost to run to run fiber out from the main county road down to where they live. And I think they quoted him. I could be wrong on this. And I want to say that they quoted him like $20,000 to run like 2 miles of fiber down to his house. And it was just like, no one's going to pay. No private citizen is going to pay $20,000 to get fiber optic to their little country cabin, that's off in the woods 2 miles off the county road, because most people don't have that kind of money to pay for that kind of stuff. Munster says I'm in Singapore and ISPs are pretty decent. Yeah. So that the internet thing is that's a funny conundrum.
Are you good? Get some rest. Ancestors protect you.
Centaur toys unlocked.
Balakar Khan will lead the No-Kud to victory.
What? Go on then.
Alright, that's that quest. Now we've got the next clan we can go work on over here. Bam says, that sounds about the right for fiber. You're not paying for just yourself, but you're paying for present and future neighbors to get it. Yeah, but if that's the case, if you're paying $20,000 so that your neighbors can have internet, I should, I better get my money back is what I'm getting at. It's like, if I'm going to pay $20,000 because the private company doesn't want to invest 20 grand and I pay for that, then I want to get free. I want free internet for the rest of my life. Like, I should not have to pay a monthly fee at that point. If I've paid 20 grand so that you can install the infrastructure and then you can sell it to all my neighbors and you can get clients from that, then I want free internet for life. And, I better be getting a commission from all the neighbors who sign up.
The truth seeps into my bones.
We cannot stop the wind, Sashtang.
Blooms
nor
can be
reverse
ground and
its
burned.
course.
Please collect some of the flowers so we can make
be
an
guided
incense.
by it, even into tumult.
Woo! Oh, another quest just opened up down here.
This is sacred land.
Oh, so this is ongoing for the betrothal quest.
Go well.
For those of you who might be new, tuning in for the first time, don't forget we are multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So if you followed us in one place, don't forget to check out the other. And if you really want to go above and beyond, watch in both places at the same time, because the views always help with the algorithm. Make sure to follow along at both places if you can afford to support. And you like what you see, if you're on Twitch, bits, cheers, and subs. And if you're on YouTube, it's super chats, stickers, and memberships. All contribute to the cause and keep me on the air full time. I always tell people, I'm your Netflix, I'm your Hulu, I'm your Disney Plus, but I'm better than Disney Plus. Because, I just am. Kona Savage says, I really like the sound of the quest line, absolutely hate the dungeon at the end. El Nini says, Geoforce server blades have 4090s. I've been enjoying these Centaur quests a lot. Like, this has been a really pleasant... I started these yesterday, and it was like, I think I played for 3 hours yesterday, and all I did was these quests. Like, I'm totally off, just, that's what I'm doing right now with these Centaur quests. This is the campaign, so it's really been a pleasant journey. I really liked the caravan yesterday. That was really cool to be able to, like, jump on the little tiger mount they have, and you just sit there and ride for 10 minutes listening to them tell stories. And there was, like I think 3 stages to the journey. It's really well done. Just, I like storytelling more than anything else in the games that I play. So if a game has good storytelling, that's what draws me in. Which is why I've told people over there, like, I get some people like, you should try Elite Dangerous. It's so good because of this, that, the other. I'm like, I've tried it. It doesn't have a storyline. Like, I need storyline. I need you to give me a point A to point B. Oh, am I supposed to do something with the incense? Grind it. Oh, that's why I'm sitting here herping and derping, running around looking for more. It's because I got sidetracked talking to everybody. I need there to be a storyline. If there's not a storyline, I get bored instantly.
May Onora's breath lift your spirit.
Also, if you like what you see, everybody, we are recruiting. We are open for recruitment. We are
Wind
a Moonguard
corrupted.
server. Just formed the
The
guild up
storm
about 4 or 5 days ago.
The sign
Getting
of
all
a
our people
betrayal.
in.
And an
I think we're up to... I haven't even
princess.
checked the roster.
No, Onora.
We got 40,
Could
50
she be
people,
in
something like
danger?
that. Usually when we've done this in the past, when we've come in and done our guilds, we get anywhere from 75 to 150 people when we've done the progression servers. But this is the first time we've done a guild formed up to play together for more than just a few months. This is actually, we're going to be doing this for the next 3 years for the World Soul Saga. So, chop chop if you want to join.
What news
We are an
do you
alliance,
bring,
but,
outsider? Go
everybody
with
can join
Onora's
these days.
blessing.
A message from Sansa Khan.
Oh, I got a message. What's he say?
Welcome.
While
I
you wait
have
for
a
the emissary to
story for
arrive,
you.
Sansa Khan is interested to hear how meeting the clans went. She sent me to find you and tell you to meet her in the center of Marakul to discuss.
Fight with your aim.
Awesome.
Then
Well, I
rest.
will do that in a minute because I have side quests now. I need to speak to initiate. These are all breadcrumb quests, so we're gonna untrack. That's already untracked. Which one am I gonna speak to the hunter? What's this one? Let's do that one next. Barrington says feels like 50-ish. Dribbomb says playing with other players at Elite provides you with drama. Fight for control over space stations can be heated. I mean, I suppose if you're going to play it in that way and play with other people. When I tried it out twice on the PS4. It was a beautiful game. I liked the ambient sound. I did play for about 3 weeks the second time around. And I got pretty deep into just like exploring space and everything else, but I just got bored after a few weeks because there were no quests. It was just like missions, but the missions aren't enough. One of the only reasons I'm enjoying EVE Online right now is because there are missions, and so, or excuse me, there are quests. Let me get the terminology. It's not just missions; there are quests. So I'm like doing the blood soaked something storyline right now. It's like 52 stages in that quest line. And so it's providing me with a legitimate storyline to complete. And that's what keeps me as an individual engaged. I'm not everybody though.
Be
Some people like to
respectful.
just have the mission boards and that's all they need. But I need a guiding path. If there's not like a narrative driving my experience, I'm on to the next.
I shall join you next time, perhaps.
Alright, number 2, meet Narman and Darwa by the water. That's a long way away, but I might as well get that flight point. I don't own a PS5, no. I have an Xbox Series X. I was a PS gamer. I was a PlayStation gamer for many years. I loved the PS4 ecosystem. And then when the next-gen consoles came out, I could not get my hands on a PS5. I tried for like a year and could never get a PS5. And then after about a year of waiting, an Xbox Series X popped up on Amazon. I immediately bought it and I switched ecosystems and I switched over to Game Pass. And honestly, I have not been disappointed. I freaking love Game Pass. I wouldn't mind having both, but I don't need both. I mean, anybody who follows my channel, I stay busy. I have plenty of games that I play without needing to have 2 consoles. And I saw there was a good deal. They had for the first time in the 2 years or 3 years, however it's in that PS5's been out, I saw a PS5 at my local grocery store in backwoods podunk place where I live. They have a PS5 on sale. And I looked at that and went, not the grocery store, sorry, Copel, which is like Sears in the United States, like Sears used to exist. So, you know, they sell all sorts of stuff, but they actually had a PS5. And I was like, and I was like, nah, I don't need to spend money right now. I don't need it. But, there's really not too many games that are exclusive to the PS5 that I feel are so badass that I must own a PS5 to play. You know, it's like The Last of Us, you know, remastered editions would be fun to play through, but also I don't. Why would I want to spend $60 again? You know, like I've played both those games. They're great games. Yeah. Nope. So I have I'm in the Xbox ecosystem. And I love it. I love Game Pass. And I have Game Pass Ultimate, so I get great games every month on the PC and then great games on the Xbox as well. Actually, if you watch my channel long enough, I'd say about 90% of the first impressions videos I do are Xbox games. The vast majority of them, whenever something pops up on Xbox Game Pass that I think is going to be fun, I'll play it. Do a first impressions video. I will occasionally do ones from Steam or Epic Store, but very rare. Most of the free games I get from there, I don't bother with. And occasionally, as is the case, as an example, I'm not better off upgrading your PC. Nope, sorry. I do not buy into that whole PC Master Race stuff. Nope. I don't buy into that. I run my PCs into the ground. In this case, I've got a gaming laptop that has a 1080 in it that's starting to feel its age. Baldur's Gate 3 was the first game I played where I was like, you know, I still played it at Ultra, but I had frame drops in Act 3. But so did a lot of people on 4090s even. But I'm not going to go out there and spend $3,000, $4,000 to upgrade my rig just because. Why? The Xbox Series X provides me with 4K gaming for like the $600, $700 that I paid for it, and I'm more than content. I make a living at this without needing to spend thousands of dollars upgrading to have the latest graphics card. I'll probably need to upgrade next year because you know, either my laptop will give out or I'll just get to the point where something will pop up on the PC that I want to play that I won't be able to play at a reasonable frame rate. So, because this thing's about 6 years old, I think. So, if I get another year out of it, I think the max I've ever gotten out of a laptop has been 8 years. No, you don't. You don't need a 2070. All the games that I want to play are also available on the Xbox. The only reason a 2070 would be necessary is if I was only playing PC games. I don't only play PC games. I'm playing World of Warcraft on max settings right now. I'm playing EVE Online, max settings. I played Baldur's Gate 3, max settings. Am I getting 500 frames per second? No. Do you need 500 frames a second? No. Like, Cyberpunk 2077, played it on my Xbox. Starfield, played it on my Xbox. Baldur's Gate 3, had it launched simultaneously on the Xbox, I would have played it on the Xbox. Rogue Trader, which I'm doing the PC version right now for R&D, launches with an Xbox version on December 7th. I will be switching over and playing it on the Xbox. Dune Awakening coming next year, playing it on the Xbox. Star Wars Outlaws coming next year, playing it on the Xbox. Fable coming next year, playing it on the Xbox. Avowed coming out next year, playing it on the Xbox. I have no need for a 2870 Ti. Like some people might, if you play primarily PC games. I play games that launch simultaneously as a general rule, so for me, you know, I'll just play it when it comes out on the Xbox. Like, even in the case of, like, as an example, Dune Spice Wars launched as I think it launched as a PC-only title a couple months back, I think. It came out of early access and went to launch, and it came to Xbox Game Pass on the PC last week, and then on November 28th, it's coming to the Xbox Game Pass. Now, had they only released it on the PC, I'll go play it on the PC. But since it's coming to the Xbox, I'm just going to wait 3 weeks. Like, I have no reason to play it on the PC when it's also coming to the Xbox. So for me, the vast majority, and I mean like 90% of the games I play are Xbox games. And I like it that way because I like playing with a controller way more than I like playing with mouse and keyboard. I'm actually bitching hardcore in Rogue Trader right now because they don't have controller support in the beta. Because as soon as Baldur's Gate 3 launched and I was able to switch over from mouse and keyboard to controller, I'm happy to do so. I love controller support.
Show me your hands. Get some rest.
But yes, if you are a PC gaming enthusiast who primarily plays PCs, then I would argue that what you just said is true. You need at least a 2070 Ti. But that's if you're primarily playing PC games, which I don't. It's the best. The other thing too is the nice thing about most game companies these days is that they are making games that release simultaneously on platforms and PC. So you literally do get to choose which platform you want to play your games on, and that to me is the most amazing thing. To be like, I'd prefer to play it on my PS5 because I like the PS5 more than I like my PC or more than I like the Xbox. I really am pleased with companies who provide that option for people. It is a really great place to be technology-wise, to be able to play where you want, as it being forced to play in one place. So I'm a big fan of any company that provides me with options. And I think at least looking forward to all the games that I'm going to be playing in 2024, every single game that I want to play next year is coming out on multiple platforms. And so I'm just going to play it on the platform that I own, that I get the best performance out of. Yes, Game Pass is an amazing value, El Nini. I actually have been thinking about. I've been paying. I pay month to month, and I just need to start paying annually. I've had it for over 2 years, paying month to month, and I've just been like, you know what? I should probably just start doing it annually because you do save a bit of money that way. All right, Clans of the Plains. Ooh, that's a good. I'm gonna look this up and see which one. It doesn't matter if these questions are answered in a specific order. Oh, I need to go. Before I do this, I gotta check in with Chris real quick. 'Cause I think we're supposed to go to the lumber yard this morning and get the wood to make my standing desk. I'll be right back. All right. Chris is making breakfast, so let me look up this quest. All right. Whose clan upholds their ancestors' traditions and guides? Choker, pendant, locker. Locket, not locker. I mean, stamina. They all give the same thing. Haste and mastery.
Make way! The emissary from the green Dragonflight has arrived!
Nice! Finally get to meet the emissary.
It is my honor to represent my flight. It has been many years since our people connected.
So cool. I finally get to meet the embassy.
I come seeking aid from your Kana mantra. I request you let her know I am prepared.
We must go join the Kanamatra. I recommend you take this opportunity to speak with the
That's why
emissary.
I prefer controllers,
You are both
Driprom, because I
strangers
have
here.
chronic tendonitis in my left hand, just from years and years and years of use and work and other things, but also from from using my pinky finger to hit that control and shift key. And so if I do mouse and keyboard for more than like an hour or two in a session, I have to be very careful when I play Warcraft, which is why usually you'll see me, I don't play Warcraft much longer than 2-hour sessions. I will occasionally, the other day I did a 6-hour session on Friday or Saturday, and my hands hurt really bad the next day. Not just this hand, but also these two fingers from the mouse clicks. And also I sprained this finger like 4 or 5 months ago, and it's still not completely good. So that's why I love the controller, because I don't have any issues with the controller. I can play on the controller for like 12 hours, and I feel nothing. So I'm a much prefer controller gameplay for that reason. Munster says, call me a snob. I prefer PC and mouse and keyboard. I look at controllers and I'm reminded of side scrollers. You, sir, need to play more games. Modern games has moved so far beyond scrollers. Oh, man. All right. So we finally get to meet the Green Emerald Dragon emissary. I am not here for a kindly visit, but rather to plead for the Centaur's aid in securing our Oathstone and protecting our charge. I'm glad to see you are here to help. So we're going to learn about their situation. Alright. I am here to help restore the Green Oathstone.
Your support is welcome. Our forces are small in number. There are few defenders among us, but we are gardeners, not fighters.
Well,
within
I'm
our
here to help.
gardens stands a portal to the Emerald Dream. We cannot empower our Oathstone without forces to defend our charge from primalist attacks.
Well, you know what I'm here for. Okay.
Marithra hopes that the Kanamatra upholds her ancestors' pact to aid us in this time of need.
Cool.
I must speak with the Kanamatra. I implore you to join us when you are able.
I will. Where is... Alright, folks, I gotta head out. Chris has got breakfast coming, and we gotta go to the lumberyard because I gotta go pick up a bunch of wood to build my standing desk. So that's gonna be my project this week. I don't know how many days it'll take me. I build everything by hand, so it's a good old hand saw and hammer and nails. So, where do I get rest XP? I'm looking for the inn. Ah, here's the inn right here. We'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Central streaming something. Probably Wasteland 3. I keep talking about it. I need to finish that damn game up. I doubt I'll do an afternoon stream today. It might happen. Depends on how I feel and everything else. But I got to go pick up lumber. And then once that gets back, I don't know if it'll get delivered today or tomorrow. But then I got to start building the desk. So I may do a video on that. I may do a... Best part about that is it's all tax deductible because it's an office desk. So, when I put it up on YouTube, it's an even greater reason that it's tax deductible because it's content for the channel. Anyway, I gotta make a desk because I'm tired of sitting here. Now that I started streaming like 6 to 8 hours a day, I need to get a standing desk because just sitting here all day is just not good for your long-term health. So we're gonna do that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, this morning. Don't forget, we are on the Moonguard server if you want to come join us. We just got going. We got a 3-year goal. We got lots ahead of us, so come hang out if you want to. Very casual, relaxed role-play environment. A lot of good people. Got a lot of the old crew are coming back. Maduros is with us again. We've played a lot with him over the years. Babylonia is helping run this show. Matter of fact, I think he had to go to work, and I missed it. Varangian said he had to go to work. Varangian's helping out as well. He's one of Babylonia's long-term friends. He's helping out run the show. So you can ask anybody for an invite. Somebody will get you into the guild. We do have an application process over in our Discord channel for the Risen Guild, so you can hit up one of the officers, get an invite over there to post an app and get going with us. I stream every day from 5:30 to 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central onwards, 2 times a day, morning and night, occasionally in the afternoons as well, as often as I can, depending on lots of other things. I do make a full-time living on YouTube thanks to the support of all of our fans. So if you're watching today and you haven't already done so, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, where we're multi-streaming, follow along and support both places however you can. Bits, cheers, and subs on Twitch, super chats, super stickers, super thanks, and memberships on YouTube. Thanks so much, everybody. There's also a Patreon page if you want to get into the game dev stuff that I do with my wife and my brother. And there's a Discord if you want to hang out with us in real time. I'll see everybody tonight.